I woke up while nature was sound asleep, so I could marvel at its kingdom. I strolled through its lush gardens and saw every little wonder up close. Here, you can dance with giants, discover a feast for the eyes, and a feast for the appetite. Walls that hold heroes' stories told me of their bravery, while sacred places blessed my journey. I roamed places that stood the test of time, and others that were there since the beginning.
Every day, I wake up to a feast. Where I can sink my teeth into history. Or shock my taste buds with something new. It's here I learned the color of sweetness, expanded my pantry, and my appetite. Every next bite only leaves you hungry for more.
I just woke up from the time of my life. It started with a major throwback. Then I got to meet the big shots. I found a sweet spot between cultures and hung out with the artsy crowd. I even picked up a few things along the way. After that, things kicked into overdrive. It started with a whirlwind through the streets, an unforgettable eats, a celebration of flavor in every bite, and an epic new party at every turn. The best thing about it here, the good times are never over.
Mabuhay! Maayong adlaw sa inyong tanan. You're watching GPSTV and you're now boarding with me, Aya Fernandez, your online travel buddy. Join me as we navigate our way through your favorite destinations, making sure, of course, to #GoSafe, GoTravel. So we've talked about the north sa ating mga previous episodes, di ba? Mula north of Luzon hanggang Visayas region. And today we'll go south of the Philippines, di ba? We are now jumping off to Mindanao. So, syempre, hindi natin mabubuo yung mapa ng Pilipinas, di ba? Pag di natin mapapag-usapan ng Mindanao, hindi talaga. And sabi nga nila, ang Pilipinas ay kailangan nating ma-explore mula Batanes hanggang Hulo, di ba? Ang Mindanao ay tinatawag na Land of Promise. Alam niyo ba yon? And bakit nga ba Land of Promise? Diba? Dahil sa angking likas na yaman na matatagpuan natin sa Mindanao. So, nakakaingit talaga yung mga nandyan sa Mindanao. And the promise, in a sense that it has a lot of natural resources that can be used to make the economy of the Philippines richer. Diba? Mayaman na tayo dahil talaga sa Mindanao. And we also can't forget about the adventure parks that are very popular in Mindanao. If you're a thrill seeker, at kung gusto nyo yung mga ultimate adventure trip, you should definitely go to Mindanao, guys. At marami ring magaganda talagang mga beach na nandyan sa Mindanao. At bilang ako ay mahilig din sa pagkain, ayan, kaway-kaway sa mga kapwa matatakaw dyan. Huwag na tayong mahiya. At gusto nyo rin naman rin namin dito na diba, takamin kayo, aming mga viewers. Pag-uusapan din natin yung mga local cuisine at ang characteristics ng local cuisine sa Mindanao, di ba? Handa na ba kayo dyan? Guys, handa na ba kayo? Let me call on our Southern online buddies. For our first guest, he is a Manila-based restaurateur, championing cuisines from Zamboanga, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi, an alumnus of Ateneo de Zamboanga University, and the founder and owner of the first ever Southern Mindanaoan restaurant in Metro Manila called Palm Grill. Nakakain na rin ako siya. Napakasarap dyan. Let me introduce Mr. Miguel Moreno.
Hi, hello. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes a todos. Maayong hapon. Assalamualaikum to our Muslim brothers and sisters watching us today.
Hello po, mabuhay, Sir Miguel. And our second guest, he owns Dahilan in Bukidnon, Water Park in Misamis Oriental, River Rafting in Cagayan de Oro, and Resort in Camiguin. Engineer LP Paras.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Aya, and to the rest of the panelists. I'm broadcasting from home, but you can see in my background, that is Dahilayan. Hindi Dahilay, Dahilayan.
Hilayan.
It's the barangay Dahilayan in Manolo Fortich Municipality of Bukidnon.
Nga po sasabihin ko na nga ba baka po hanginin kayo dyan. Pero virtual background lang pala.
But that's the actual background. I mean, that's the scenery that you see in Dahilayan.
Napakaganda po. Maraming salamat, Engineer LP. Now, let me introduce our third guest. She has been Vice Chairperson of the City Tourism Board, Chairperson of the Misamis Oriental Art, Culture and Tourism Board, or MISORAC, and Director as well as past President of the prestigious and influential Cagayan de Oro Hotel and Restaurant Association, Miss Eileen San Juan.
Ay, maayong hapon sa tanan.
Maayong hapon po. Okay, excited na ako. Maraming salamat po for being here, Miss Eileen, and the rest of our guests. Sa ating viewers, tune in to GPSTV on Facebook and YouTube to learn more about tips about worry-free travels and unique journeys to boot. At ngayon naman, papunta tayong Mindanao. So let me start our conversation with yung magpapaproud sa atin bilang taga Mindanao. What is about Mindanao that you are truly proud of? Siguro start tayo kay Miss Eileen.
Well, for me, for Cagayan de Oro especially, it's when you come to Cagayan de Oro, it's easy to go different destinations, places. Parang from ridge to reef na tawag nga nila. You can go easily to the mountains in a few minutes. If you want to go see the beach or enjoy the beach, it's also only within distance. So that is one thing that I really treasure being in Cagayan de Oro or here in northern Mindanao. No, it's we're very well connected. So isa yan, and of course we have the food
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yes.
So maraming salamat po, Miss Eileen. Food, sceneries, definitely, it would make us proud of Mindanao. How about you, Engineer LP?
Yeah, actually, my parents are from Luzon. They migrated to Mindanao in the early 50s, just after the war. I was
Okay.
born here. Kaya Kapampangan sana ako, pero both my parents are Kapampangan, but I was born here. So I'm a Visayan, and at the same time, I also claim my Kapampangan roots.
Oh,
You know, uh, when my parents came here in the 50s, in early 50s, they came here because the the byword then was Mindanao was the land of promise. For us, indeed, it's been really a land of promise. Not only promise of it is a land of fulfillment. I ever since I finished my education in Manila, umuwi ako dito sa Cagayan de Oro. Dito na talaga ako nagumpisa na magpundar ng pamilya, magpundar ng negosyo. And it has been Mindanao has been good to us. To everyone, to those that have migrated from other parts of the country to Mindanao, Mindanao's really fulfilled its promise, and I believe that uh, you know uh, especially that we have a president right now coming from Mindanao. You can't go wrong anymore. Kaya we're still bullish despite the COVID situation. Us in the tourism business, we're still bullish about it. In fact, we reopened our doors in August, early August, and so far the turnout has been improving. But siyempre hindi pa rin kagaya ng dati. Pero yung nga, may promise talaga na magkakaroon din kami ng busy Christmas vacation.
napakaganda nung sagutin nyo na it can range, the pride of Mindanao can range from its sceneries, its food, its culture, up to the personal level on how you have experienced the place. I see you nodding, Sir Miguel. Kayo naman po, what is it about Mindanao na proud kayo?
Actually, I think I have almost a similar story with Sir Ellie. My grandfather hails from Ilocos Norte.
Okay,
And back in
layo.
the day, he was assigned in Holosulu, and that's when he established his family. My parents were born there. I was born in Holosulu, but we are Roman Catholics, and I grew up in Zamboanga City. So having had these experiences growing up, I can say that I'm extremely proud of the culture, the heritage, the food, the sceneries, and everything about Southern Mindanao. Hence, the restaurant that I founded with my family way back March of 2017, which serves authentic cuisine from Southern Mindanao. So our purpose really and our main goal is to champion what's good about in these areas, which unfortunately we know is deemed to be having a bad image. So when people when people ask or talk about Zamboanga, Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi, they always associate it with terrorism and kidnappings and all these things. And that's really sad and unfortunate. So sabi namin, what better way to introduce the culture and heritage to the people here in Luzon if not through food? Kasi nga, food brings people together. So that's why we came up with Palm Grill here. And we are still continuing to champion the cuisines, its stories, the heritage and tradition that comes with it. So yun, that's what makes me extremely proud about being a Mindanaoan.
Alam niyo po, Sir Miguel, thank you for that, Sir Miguel. Pero alam niyo po, ngayon, although we do not like to eliminate the fact that there are existing problems in Mindanao, pero surprisingly and happily, hindi pala surprisingly, I'm glad na nagbabago na. Like when we say Zamboanga ngayon, ang naiisip na is yung yakan. Yeah, which is what I'm wearing right now, yakan weave. Nang naiisip na ngayon, ay yung pink beach. Yun na yung naiisip ngayon. Nagbabago na yung panahon. Parang lumang tugtugin na kapag, ewan ko sa mga viewers right here, I don't know if you agree with me, parang lumang tugtugin na kapag iniisip mo pa rin na turismo o kaya gera kapag sinabing Mindanao. Sobrang, girl, kailan ka pinanganak? So, I'm very glad na nagbabago na siya, continuously progressing. But of course, again, ayaw natin naman na i-cover pa rin or ilagay under the rug yung nangyayaring problema. So, meron ng balance. And I'm very glad that it's happening. And it's also because of the efforts that you've been doing through your restaurant and through your here right now na nag-guest kayo and we're talking about Mindanao. Anyway, I'd like to ask you naman, anong part ng inyong probinsya na history ng inyong probinsya na has largely contributed to what is it right now? So I know that you guys came from different provinces. So which among the heritage has largely contributed to what is it now? So siguro let's start with Miss Eileen.
I consider Cagayan, it has some areas that are historical, no? For now, what exists is really what we call the Plaza Divisoria is what we have as something that is in the center of the city. In fact, just recently we launched a project to develop this area, no? It's very historical kasi diyan nagme-merge ang mga tao, no? It used to be the old commercial area of Cagayan. But for now, kasi nga with the pandemic and what's going on, we're also trying to promote areas outdoors. And I would say may mga emerging destinations tayo dito. We have Sinolom Falls, which is more or less in the southern side of the city, no? It's uptown. Together with meron siya yung Balao Cold Springs, which is I hope when tourism really resumes, we can bring everybody there because these are exciting areas also to be out there and see it. Of course, around Cagayan naman, is, as I said kanina, it's very easy to wander to other places. Engineer Paras is here, and of course, Dahilayan is just a few hours away. Well, actually, it's less than an hour away, no, from Cagayan, kasi with the good roads. And then, of course, Del Monte is there, also uptown, yes. And then the beaches around Misamis Oriental are also sites to see. So maraming actually mapuntahan.
Yeah. Miss Eileen, you said you grew up in Cagayan de Oro.
Yes.
Ano po yung tradisyon na nakita nyo mula noon hanggang ngayon nandyan pa rin sa inyong province?
I'm not sure if, well, I can just say kasi Cagayan nga, we have this tagline, no? Cagayan de Oro, the city of golden friendship. So I would say really it's really the friendship, the camaraderie that you would see,
or
around
maybe
Cagayan.
Something personal that you have experienced.
Personal? Marami Hindi ko pa maisip kung anong ibig sabihin. But I would, kasi I treasure the times when maraming mga special occasions, no, that happens here in Cagayan, like Christmas. And it's easy to get together. It's really just sad now, no? Because of the pandemic, things will change. But that's how close people were in Cagayan before. That like between Christmas and New Year, you converge, especially New Year's Eve. There was a time when I was growing up, everybody would be converging in a merong parang resort, and almost everybody were there, and you could say hi and hello during New Year. So that was really something that I would
No.
Ngayon, medyo
Yan.
hindi na.
Medyo maiiba yung itsura ng hi hello natin ngayon. Thank you, Miss
Yes.
Eileen, for that. Sir Miguel, how about you? What part of your province's history and heritage has largely contributed to what is it now?
Actually, the Zamba Sultan region, no, it's like a melting pot of all the beautiful cultures coming together. In Zamboanga City, we know that the local dialect is called Chavacano, and it's 80% Spanish, and the remaining is a mix of Tagalog. And plus, of course, we have the Samals, the Badjaus, the Yakans of Basilan. So they all come together now in Zamboanga City, of course, including the islands of Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi. So with that, no, all their stories, all their cuisines, all their history coming together and uniting is what makes, I think, this area, this group of islands, very interesting. Aside from like what you mentioned earlier, the Pink Sun Island in Zamboanga City, which is called Santa Cruz Island. Of course, we have the Fort Pilar, which is the fort built by the Spaniards, and of course we have textile. Like the yakan weave you're wearing, you may mention earlier, the Basileños. The Holowanos also, their beautiful cuisine, which everybody loves to eat. I can actually name a lot. There's the sati, there's the chicken pianggang, the tula itum, all this, which are truly Filipino, traditionally Filipino cuisines. And that's why we really wanted to highlight this and to introduce it to many of those who have probably never traveled to Mindanao or Zamboanga City or Cagayan de Oro, Davao. That's why it's the entire region it's beautiful, it's rich, it's exciting. I think that's what one of the contributions it has given to us today.
Yeah, it's very much interesting how you highlighted that it is a combination of our diverse culture within the country. No?
Yeah.
Galing. And I believe na Yakans are from Basilan, who also migrated to Zamboanga in a specific time before. So, ang galing how it have evolved. How about you, Engineer LP? What part of your province's history and heritage has largely contributed to what it is right now?
Well, my province is Misamis Oriental, but our businesses range from Misamis Oriental, Cagayan de Oro, and Bukidnon provinces. And I can say that the Cagayan de Oro is like a melting pot also of the mostly Visayans from Cebu, from Bohol, from Leyte, from the western part, the Ilonggos, and a spattering of, people from Luzon, yung mga Ilocano who were here early on also working for the government, the Kapampangans who came here as peddlers, and also, of course, the overseas Chinese who found their way to Cagayan de Oro and became, the people that run the retail trade industry in Cagayan de Oro. Now, if you ask me now whether my parents made a good decision in moving from Luzon, well, in those days, this was just after the war, Second World War. My father was an elementary school graduate. He was it was unfortunate that he was orphaned at an early age, and he had to really become independent early on.
Galing.
So naging conductor siya, naging mekaniko siya, you name it, dinaanan niya yon. So nung natapos ang gera, nakita niya devastated ang Luzon. Napag-isipan niya na maghanap siya ng oportunidad dito sa Mindanao. Kasi narinig na nga niya land of promise. So, yun ang kwento. He and my mom, they came here to Cagayan de Oro with, a few hundred pesos in their pocket. And dito sila nagpundar ng pamilya. Dito sila nagtrabaho at saka nagpundar din ng negosyo. Saka the rest is history. we came later on. But we saw how our parents grew their businesses and their families. So, yun nga, dinaanan namin lahat nung, kung let's say, naghirap man nung unang panahon, ngayon, nag-enjoy naman kami dun sa pinaghirapan nila. So, yun nga, I think, there are a lot of good stories from Cagayanons who have moved, who are actually indigenous from Luzon or the Visayas, who have made their fortunes and made their families grow here in Mindanao. Kaya yung nga, ever since natapos ako ng koleyo, talagang, bumalik talaga ako sa Cagayan de Oro para dito ako naghanap ng opportunity para maging entrepreneur.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing with us your family history, Engineer LP. And sana maraming na-inspire sa ating viewers, no? At the time na bumabangon ang buong bansa natin, yun yung time na nag-move sila to Mindanao. Maraming salamat po for that. And for giving us a glimpse of sa trade and industry perspective din. Now, I'd like to ask you, Sir Miguel, how big are the culinary events naman in your provinces? Can you tell us more about these festivals?
In Zamboanga, the regular Fiesta Pilar, which is every October of the month. That's a huge celebration for Zamboangueños and everyone who has decided to stay and reside in Zamboanga City. And of course, the different people from different walks of life, you know how it is when it's fiesta. Elsewhere in the Philippines, we get very festive. And when we say festive, there's a lot of merrymaking and food and laughter. And I think that's one trait, not only in Mindanao, but the entire Philippines, we can be really proud of. Is celebrate, we really give it 100%. So Zamboanga City, we do that, the typical things, the street dancing and the floral floats. Because Zamboanga is known to be Asia's Latin city. So you'll find the infrastructures from the olden Spanish period still there. Of course, you'll find grand mosques from Muslims who have decided to stay in Zamboanga City. We have the barter trade, which I forgot to mention earlier. The barter trade, actually, one of the things we're extremely proud of is because this dates back to as far as the 13th century.
Hanggang ngayon, meron pa ring barter trade.
Yes, because the barter trade started during the Sultanate of Sulu. So even before the Spaniards came to our lands, the Sultanate of Sulu has been trading spices, textiles, pottery, all this through the route of the Samba Sulta region, all the way, and it extends as far as, I believe, Singapore, the Arabic continents, and even India. That's why sa pagkain naman, you'll find that we have a lot of similarities to these areas because we play around with coconut, we play around with spices like turmeric, like curry, and these are all influences from that spice trade that is still up to now in Zamboanga. You'll find a location where barter trading is still there. Goods from Malaysia, goods from Singapore, you'll find it over there. So I think growing up and having experienced this, that's something that I will forever, I think, cherish and always share to people that I meet.
Siguro yung sa ating mga viewers right now na nasa Mindanao, parang alam na nila yan, no? Pero yung iba naman, hindi nakakaalam, meron tayong bago natutunan ngayong araw na to. Sir Miguel, can I ask you, nag-participate ka na ba dun sa barter trade? And I'm curious kung ano yung in-exchange mo, kung nag-participate ka man.
Well, actually, to be honest, I've never really participated, no? But we always go to the barter if we would like to purchase some stuff, I remember growing up as a kid, if I may share.
Sure.
I remember my bath soap is Dove, but it's the imported one that comes from Malaysia. The chocolate drink you have for breakfast and all this stuff. But of course, when you're a kid, you don't really have a glimpse, an idea of the barter trade. But as you grow along, you'll get the Maggi curry. This is like the Maggi noodles. It has curry soup and it's spicy and it's one of the specialties. You have the Apollo wafers and all this stuff. So I haven't personally bartered anything and experienced it firsthand. But I always go there when I buy pasalubong. Like when I go to Pampanga, tapos balik ako ng Manila, ang mga friends ko talagang laging, bring us something interesting. So barter is the place to go to buy styles, the mga malongs, the mga yakan, weaves, table runners, bags, etc. So yun ang ginagawa ko. Dinadala ko siya dito for pasalubong.
So fun! Isa yun sa mga bucket list. Nasa bucket list ko na yan na makapag-barter trade din ako pagpunta ko ng Zamboanga. Thank you, Sir Miguel, for that. How about you, Miss Eileen? How big are the culinary events in your provinces? And kung pwede niyo po kaming i-share ng inyo ring personal experiences tulad ni Sir Miguel.
Yeah, hearing Miguel, it makes me so excited since I have been in Zamboanga, and I just want to really also endorse the barter trade, because every time I go there, I really go and check out their items there. Yes, Cagayan de Oro is very proud to have this event that we call Kumbira. It's a culinary festival. It's a 3-day culinary festival that's held every year. In fact, Aya, it's going to be a milestone for next year. It's going to be the 25th year of Kumbira. And what that is it showcases food, from we are actually really promoting also our local food, but what the activities that we have there are competitions, and then of course there's also mga display of different delicacies, and participation also from the students in joining this competition. It's really a big show, and in fact we're proud because we have brought a lot of people from Manila, mga foodies, mga chefs, who have been here and who have been judging our competitions, and they've seen it grow. At one time, for 3 days, we've had like 15,000 people coming to Cagayan, for this festival. This year, though, we did not also want to just not hold it. So what we did was we did a virtual 3-day naman na 1-hour segment of mga cooking demonstration by our different member hotels and restaurants of the Cagayan de Oro Hotel and Restaurant Association, or COHARA. That's the organization that has been organizing this competition and culinary show. That's also held in August. And during August, we have the Higalaay Festival in Cagayan. Higala is friend, and so that is really part of the bigger festival in Cagayan de Oro, which is called Higalaay Festival. So that's the culinary side of the Higalaay Festival.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Eileen. But I'm sorry to break it to you, but I feel like the honor is more on the foodies coming from Manila, because they are able to see your culture firsthand. Like, the honor is not on you, but on the Manileños. Baliktad po, baliktad. Hindi dahil kayo pumunta sila sa inyo, hindi po sila dahil nakapunta sila sa inyo. Yun. Engineer LP, kayo po, ano po yung mga naranasan yung culinary events in your provinces na gusto niyong ma-share sa amin?
Well, yung sabi ni yung pinaka-familiar talaga at saka pinaka-popular, yung kumbira, Kasi ito talaga homegrown to na na event every fiesta time, just before the fiesta. Ito ino-organize ng mga restaurateurs at saka hoteliers. And also with with a lot of students in the HRM industry, talagang dinadayo ito from all parts of Mindanao, including from, we have chefs that fly in from Luzon also to participate. Kaya ito talaga is one of the big events na pre-fiesta events for Cagayan de Oro. Yeah. Kaya, you can see how, how many people, how many kids now are, liking to become, chefs. and putting up their own restaurants. In fact, during this pandemic, sila nabigyan parang startup, no? Yung
Wow.
mga nag-aaral sa mga culinary schools ay talagang nagbebenta na talaga from home ng mga kanilang invention, no? Invention at saka innovation sa food technology. Kaya talagang right now talagang halos hindi na kami pupunta sa restaurant. Nag-order na lang kami online. Kasi maraming masasarap na pagkain na binebenta ngayon online. At saka napakadali, hindi ka na kailangan lumabas sa bahay. Kaya kahit nakapajama ka, nakakain ka pa rin ng yung paborito mong pagkain.
Na nasa restaurant lang noon no? At saka, isa pa po doon, Engineer LP, na maganda, kapag pinagpatuloy nila yung tradisyon ng cuisine sa isang lugar, parang never mawawala yung culture, no? Parang maki-carry over yun Tsaka kung paano niluto ang isang putahe, it says so much about your heritage. So that's very beautiful. Magandang nalaman po namin yan. Thank you so much, Engineer LC. What are some now, and now I would like to ask you guys, what are some of the emerging destinations in Mindanao na noon, feeling nyo hindi masyado nabibigyan ng highlight, pero ngayon, na sumisikat na. So, Sir Miguel?
Oh, okay. So for Zamboanga City, it has to be Santa Cruz Island, the Pink Sand Island. It's an untouched virgin island, and it's being recently. Former Miss Universe Catriona Gray visited Zamboanga City. I don't know if you've seen the post on Facebook.
Of course.
They went, her team. They went to Santa Cruz Island. They enjoyed the pink sand, the fresh seafoods. The fruits and all that. So I think I would definitely have to promote the Pink Sand Island of Zamboanga.
Ako, isa po yan sa bucket list ko, yung Pink Island na yan, Pink Sand Island. Thank you, Sir Miguel, for mentioning that. How about you, Miss Eileen? Naku, malamang marami kayong masasabi dito.
Well, earlier I just mentioned about Sinulog Falls, no? Because that is one, sabi ko, parang emerging destination namin dito sa Cagayan. And again, because we are promoting outdoors, no? Outdoor destinations. So isa yan. Yes, like Zamboanga also, no? We had Miss Pia words back also having experienced and enjoy really yung last year when we brought her there. She didn't ayaw na niyang umuwi. Parang dito muna daw siya kasi nag-enjoy siya talaga. So it's really something fresh. And then right next to that, or very near, it's about 15 minutes also from there, is Bulao, cold springs. No, again, hindi pa ito masyadong napupuntahan kasi nung we were about to launch this also at the pandemic already started. So I would say that really when tourism starts, then I hope that this is a destination that we can really explore with guests coming to Cagayan.
Yeah, and sana hopefully as our provinces reopen, sana guys, yung mga narinig yung mga emerging destinations ay maging parte na rin ng checklist ninyo, hindi ba po? Thank you so much, Miss Eileen. Kayo po, Engineer LP, what are some of the emerging destinations na nasa Mindanao na naririnig nyo na ngayon?
Well, ito masasabi ko. Yung ginawa ng gobyerno ngayon na paglalagay ng mga bypass roads at saka interconnecting roads, na dati wala. Kasi ngayon, ang Mindanao, naku-cross mo na from different directions. No? Kung pupunta kang Davao, hindi lang via Butuan, kundi pwede na via Bukidnon. Pwede rin na meron pang cross-country doon sa, through the Agusan area. No? On the western side naman, kung pupunta ka ng Iligan, for example, there is now a bypass road that is very near yung mini-mention ni Eileen na Sinulog Falls. May bypass road na yun na hindi na dumadaan sa coastal area. So these are new road infrastructure being built or being finished by the DPWH as part of the infrastructure program na ang DOT rin ang naglobby nito. With this new road openings, you will see that dumadaan to in the lush and verdant landscape of Mindanao. Yung mga magagandang view, magagandang tanawin, nakikita nyo through these new roads that are being built. There are areas that used to be just logging roads, but now talagang sementado na. And, some enterprising individuals have already put up, coffee shops, waypoints, rest areas na may view talaga, mag-i-enjoy talaga. Kaya every weekend nga makikita mo, parang pilgrimage yan eh. Kung may narinig ang mga tao dito sa Cagayan de Oro na merong bago sa Claveria, for example, malapit yan sa Tagoloan, yung hometown ng lolo mo.
Yes,
no? Yung Claveria now is an emerging destination. It's only about less than an hour away from Cagayan de Oro.
Wow.
And it is a bypass road that goes up to Hingoog City. Dadaan ito dun sa area na kung saan nag-crash yung Flight 387 ng Cebu Pacific in the 1998 ata yun. Na-discover ngayon na yung lugar na yun talagang napakaganda talaga ng lugar. At saka elevated yan. It's between two mountain ranges, yung Mount Balatucan at saka Mount Lumot, kung saan nag-crash yung plane na Cebu Pacific. Napakaganda talaga. Parang nasa Baguio rin kayo or nasa Tagaytay kayo. So, this is one of the emerging destinations. On the western side naman, in the Lanao areas, marami na ring tinatayo na lalo na sa Lanao del Norte, with the progress coming to the coastal towns of Lanao del Norte. I hear now there are many entrepreneurs putting up their own tourism destinations. Na talagang nagma-mushroom na, which is very good because kung kayong taga Luzon, gusto niyo pumunta Mindanao, marami na kayong mapupuntahan talaga. Talaga napaka-exciting. Meron nga lugar na hindi ko pa napupuntahan, kaya ako rin excited din na pumunta. Doon naman sa amin sa Dahilayan, about 20 years ago, my brother was supplying gravel to one of the far-flung barangays there, yung barangay Dahilayan. And he told me, or he told the family, alam mo maganda ron, parang Baguio doon. Noon time pa lang may fog na. Saka napakalamig. So, in early 2000, we started acquiring property in Dahilayan. And, talagang when we built kami yung nag-umpisa ng mga zipline na negosyo.
10 years ago po?
Dahilayan Adventure Park is known for, what used to be Asia's longest dual zipline. We started that in 2009, so it's just about 11 years today, and the rest has been up and positive. People started. Tama yung sinasabi nila na when you build it, they will come. No.
Yes.
So yun, when we built Dahilayan from what used to be a logged over, kasi wala mga puno doon sa lugar na nabili namin kasi nalaging na. Nagtanim kami ng mga pine trees doon. My mom, who is an avid horticulturist,
wow.
Kinonvince kami na magtanim ng pine trees or whatever.
10 years ago po yan, engineer.
So, mga 20 years ago. Almost 20 years ago. So we planted, we were lucky to get some pine tree seedlings from a project in Bukidnon, galing na New Zealand. At saka those 30,000 seedlings now are fully grown. Ang ganda na ng landscape. Kung punta ka ron, para kang nasa Europe. Yun ang masasabi ko. Parang nasa Europe ka. Kasi parang nasa ibang country ka. Kaya kung magpapa-photo op kayo ron, marami nga nagwe-wedding prenup whatever,
Mm-mm.
photo shoot.
Sa
No?
dahilayan po to, no?
Sa
Engineer LP.
Dahilayan, no? Yeah. Makikita nyo, yung mga mountain range nasa likod ko, that's the Mount Kitanglad Range Natural Park. It has two mountains that are the top two highest peaks in the country. Kaya meron ding opportunity to do yung mountain climbing, hiking, exploring dito sa mga forested areas, no? So yung I would say that's the next thing, no? After we built the zip lines, we made it into an adventure destination, we put in all the amenities. I think the next step will be now to bring people to appreciate nature. Just behind me, that's the rainforest already.
Yes.
Araw-araw may ulan dyan, no? Especially during the rainy season.
Sarap.
Just like clockwork, alas 12, alauna, nandyan na ang ulan. Isang oras lang naman ang ulan kasi, several kilometers away, no, downhill, is the big Del Monte pineapple plantation.
Ang lalapit lang no? So kapag pumunta ka dyan, one time, big time, marami ka nang pwedeng puntahan.
Marami ka talagang mapupuntahan.
Oo.
So ang kuan is that with that kind of a climate, talagang dinadayo talaga kami. At to date, siguro, pre-COVID, we were hitting already almost 200,000 visitors a year. So, yun nga, sayang lang, nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic. Pero
hindi sayang po yan. Makakabawi po tayo pagkatapos.
The signs are improving now. Kaya nga kami, we've started, ini-introduce kami ngayon ng mga rides. No? Hindi lang mga zipline. We have other adventure rides that are unique. No? In fact, we have just launched the first alpine mountain coaster in the Philippines.
Wow.
Dito we use yung hill in the background. You can see in my background, you'll see the road there that leads to the launch point of the alpine mountain coaster. No? We found this ride in Europe, no, and dinala namin yung technology rito. We in fact the engineers from Austria came over to install this equipment. It's a multi-million peso investment.
Naging fusion na ng kung ano meron tayo. And then
so what we did is we used the natural terrain. No? Ginamit namin natural terrain. Kasi yung mga mountain coaster in Europe, ginagamit nila yung mga ski slopes, yung mga ski resorts. During summertime, wala namang snow. So napag-isipan ng supplier ko na maglagay siya ng parang track kung saan the customers can ride on a cart downhill from the top of the ski slope.
So yun yung ginawa sa atin.
Kaya ginawa namin because we have the terrain. Nandyan yung bukid nasa likod namin. We nicknamed the mountain coaster Razorback. No, Razorback is a name for a wild pig. Kasi doon sa likod namin, may mga wild pigs pa dati, no? And so we just made the wild pig a mascot for our alpine mountain coaster.
Ang cute. Anyway, Engineer LP, maraming salamat po na talagang tinur nyo kami sa inyong province at hindi lang dun sa kinalakihan yung province, sa lahat na po ng talagang alam nyo at na-discover, di ba? Meron pa tayong pahapyaw ng history.
Actually, marami pa eh. Marami pa sana. Kapos na tayo sa oras.
Oo nga. Ay nako, mamaya po, babalikan natin yan. At can I just say, sabi niyo po kasi parang kang nasa Europe. Pag pumunta ka ng Europe, baliktad. Ang masasabi mo, para kang nasa Mindanao, ganon. Hindi parang Europe, parang Mindanao yung Europe. Dapat ganon. Thank you so much, Engineer LP. Anyway, guys, pagbalik natin, let's ask our guest about the activities we could do in Mindanao and how we can go safe, go travel all the way through. So meron na tayong pahapyaw. Mamaya, pipigain pa natin yan. Or kung ano pa yung matitira sa mga sasabihin nila dahil ang dami-dami na. Now, GPS TV's Journeys will be right back. Mabuhay sa lahat! Welcome back. You're still with me, Aya Fernandez, your online travel buddy. Let's continue the conversation with our Southern online buddy. So, ngayon naman tatanungin ko kayo, what are the unique activities that we could do in your province aside from dun sa mga sinabi na ni Engineer LP kanina? Sir Miguel.
Okay, activities. Now, aside from earlier, I said yung Santa Cruz Island, which is 30 minutes away from island of Zamboanga City. They can also travel to, it's called Marloquet Falls. No, it's about 40 minutes to 1 hour away from the city proper of Zamboanga. If you coordinate with the local government, no, as a Department of Tourism, they will assist you to be able to visit this Marloquet Falls, which actually is also very untouched. It's everything's natural. It's a beautiful place. Aside from that, of course, the city offers, like I said, the cuisines, no, melting pot of all these cultures all together. So they can try the beef and chicken sati, which is a tausug delicacy. It's a sweet and spicy soup that's being served for breakfast. So just imagine, ang agahan ng most Zamboangueños, Soloanos, and people from there is a spicy soup.
Wow.
Share of the sticky rice, the puso, and beef barbecue skewers or the chicken barbecue. No, they can also travel by sea. A fast crop would take about 30 to 40 minutes to Basilan. Basilan, there's a white beach there, also very beautiful. I've been there once. I wish I can go back. And the last time kasi I was in Zamboanga was last year.
Tagal na.
To celebrate the Fiesta Pilar. No, to be with my family as well. We also have a natural park called Pasolanca Park, the Butterfly Farm.
Wow!
Former Mayor Kaling Lobregat is there. They can also visit that at the same time. So Tawi-Tawi, Holosulu, they can also visit those islands provided they coordinate properly, with the local the LGUs. In Holosulu, I grew up enjoying the pristine beaches, white sand beaches, as fine as iodized salts, as white and as fine as iodized salts. In Sulu, you'll find all those beautiful beaches. The Quezon Beach is also there, which was named after our former president, Quezon. The backstory, if my memory serves me right, it's a long time ago sa Holo.
Sorry, ang Quezon Beach ay nasa Sulu. Holosulu.
It's in Holosulu.
Okay.
And if my memory serves me right, yung backstory nun is when our former president Quezon visited the island, he fell in love with it. That's why he named it after him. It's called Quezon Beach. In Tawi-Tawi, there are also beautiful islands which you'll find there. If you're a beach person, like me,
same.
Beach person din ako.
Yes.
I'm glad na when we moved to Zamboanga and I studied there, I'm so happy na beaches are 30 minutes away from my school. So, dati, if I would share...
Nakakainggit!
Before, pag wala yung professor namin in college, back in college, pag wala yung professor, canceled ang classes, me and my friends immediately would go to La Vista del Mar or the golf course where there's a beachfront. At ang ginagawa namin is we spend time there. We buy fresh seafood, we grill it there, we bring our beverage that we like, and then we spend watching the sunset or sometimes even the sunrise. Beautiful, simple things living in the provinces, especially in Mindanao, which will offer a lot of people who would like one day to visit when all this is over, no? Sabi nga din ni Engineer Ellie, ni Sir Ellie, got me so excited because I've been to Cagayan once a long time ago, and hearing all these stories and all these things, talagang gusto ko na pong bumalik to explore.
Habang nagkukwento pa lang kayo, gusto ko nang puntahan.
Yun, kaya ako rin, Sir Ellie, thank you for sharing that information to us. And ako most especially, I haven't been there for a long time. And definitely when this pandemic is over, pupuntahan ko yan.
Wow, yeah, me also. Same here, Sir Miguel. Now, we've mentioned from adrenaline to calming or chill vacation. Nandiyan na lahat. Na-mention na. How about you, Miss Eileen? What are the unique activities that we can do in your province?
as I said, no, ang Cagayan de Oro is the staging point, no, if you want to go places in northern Mindanao. And ang I've already mentioned the falls that earlier I described, but then Cagayan de Oro is also parang ano din siya if you want to go to Camiguin. And Engineer LP Paras also would know this because they also have a resort there, no? A lot of people would come to Cagayan, spend one night, and then go travel to Camiguin by ferry, and then stay there for 1 or 2 nights, and then come back. It's a nice island kasi maliit lang siya. And really a wonderful experience for everyone to visit also. And of course, if you go to Bukidnon, aside from Dahilayan, meron din tayo yung those who would want to visit the monastery of Configuration. This is in Malaybalay, and it's really a nice visit. You would see their nice modern church, no? And you can even have time to, if arrange ahead, you can have a meal together with and prayers with the monks, no? And then they can prepare a meal for you. It's a nice experience. Malamig doon, kaya masarap, no? At saka yung masarap din yung pagkain na piniprepare nila. In fact, if you've heard of the monks blend coffee or monk's coffee, that's where it comes from because they're the ones who's producing that. And then around Cagayan, actually, if people come to Cagayan, of course, you would like to go around, maybe try riding our motorella because it's like the tricycle, or I don't know how it is in but it's it's like the tuk-tuk of Bangkok.
Motorella.
No?
Now, Miss Eileen, I'd like to ask, ano tayo? Ako, na-excite na talaga ako. Wala pa akong nakikitang pictures, pero na-excite na talaga ako. Seryoso. What are the health and safety protocols naman for tourists who would like to engage sa mga binanggit yung activities or puntahan yung mga gusto niyong puntahan? Baka meron po kayong new programs or amenities?
Yeah, for now, no, what we are doing is kasi nga hindi pa talaga inopen lahat, no, for but we are putting together yung guided tours kasi para sigurado naman na somebody will really be bringing them and will be observing the protocols as well, no.
And Ms. Eileen, when you say guided tours, in short, merong kasamang tour guides sa paglibot. Diba?
Yes,
merong itinerary, merong napag-usapang schedule, merong kasamang tour guide.
Exactly. Okay. Yes, we're having we're now doing packages with our tour operators para naman masigurado natin, no, maano yung mga protocols. And so hopefully when this opens, meron tayong we can already launch all of this. The market is also one place to visit, no? Sometimes kami mga taga Cagayan, we take it for granted na ay palengke lang naman yan. But then we realize those visitors from outside, no? From other places, they would like to see what's in our market because they said that the market speaks of the character of the food in Cagayan, and that is true, no, because they find interesting ingredients that are in the market. In fact, one of our yung pagkain na kilala ang Cagayan de Oro is sinuglaw, which is a combination of the sinugba and kinilaw. And what is unique with that is because of the tabon-tabon, no? It's like a nut that is mixed with it para maano yung lasa niya, no? Maano yung ng fish. So these are ingredients that you can find in the market, and so it's really interesting also to be visiting the market, o kaya makikain ka doon na merong mga nagbibenta ng mga putumaya, mga delicacies that are native, no, to Cagayan de Oro.
Miss Eileen, sa mga nabanggit niyo pong mga lugar kanina or sa mga nabanggit na lugar kanina, meron ba po kayong alam na reopened na or ready for tourists na right now?
Well, there are destinations. I think Engineer LP Paras just mentioned. Ang Dahilayan is already open, and then LP has also a water park which is very near Cagayan. Actually, it's just on the border of Cagayan, no, between. It's actually already in the municipality of Upol, but it's really in the border of Cagayan de Oro also. So it's a water park that's also open already. Open na Alps, no? I would
So
Yes.
if siguro yung ilan sa ating mga viewers gusto puntahan, what do we need? Like yung mga basic.
Right now kasi, although Cagayan is already, di ba, ang status of Cagayan there is MGCQ, the
Okay.
modified, the quarantine category, no, we're already allowed to accept guests. But
Okay.
because we're just being careful also, kasi kahit paano, there's still cases, no, may mga
So,
COVID cases
paano
pa
po?
yan. So,
Kailangan ba merong PCR test? Or do we need to quarantine?
there is a process that you have to go online, no, for those who are coming to Cagayan, that you have to fill out. Yun nga lang kasi sa ngayon, ang process talaga requires quarantine. So,
Okay.
so you
Quarantine
have
in Cagayan.
in Cagayan. So when you
Okay,
arrive,
okay.
but one thing that actually the local government is really doing and spending so much is those who are coming to Cagayan, ginagastusan ng local government. So they are
Ng
met at
PCR
the
test.
airport. They are met at the airport. Dadalhin sila sa merong parang station that they will have to get all the information, and then
Okay.
ina-accommodate sila sa mga isolation units for quarantine and oo. So yun lang, meron tayong mga procedures pa na ganun.
Actually, Miss Eileen, hindi po yun kaya lang. Actually, it's good news that we have those. Kasi nakakakaba po pag wala, di ba?
Right.
It is good news na meron tayong quarantine protocols, na meron tayong PCR tests na required. And also, for me, kahit na hindi pa open yung ilan sa mga nabanggit yung lugar, it's still good news. Kasi it means na you know the limit of our places, 'di ba? Kaysa naman yung magbukas ng wala lang. So, maraming salamat po for being transparent and honest with me. So guys, para sa mga gustong pumunta, check muna tayo online sa carrying capacity tulad ng mga na-discuss natin sa mga first few episodes. So maraming salamat po, Miss Irene. Engineer LP, baka po meron kayong gustong i-share na health and safety protocols for those tourists who would like to come to your province.
As of now, no, ang Dahilayan, for example, nagbukas kami since August. So we have implemented yung mandatory, health declaration, temperature scanning, disinfection, hand washing. Nag-set up kami ng triage sa labas ng resort para yung mga pumapasok, dadaan muna doon sa proseso para ma-eliminate namin yung may papasok na may sakit, no? At least, we do our, the usual checkup that the DOH and the DOT require. So far so good naman. Everybody has been very cooperative. Hindi naman talaga I haven't heard of any one getting sick going to Dahilayan. The advantage of the outdoors, kasi itong Dahilayan is really an outdoor event area. Preskong-presko ang hangin doon. Wala kang pollution. Well, hindi gaya kung nasa syudad ka, may pollution. Dito talaga presko ang hangin. And naturally, yung mga spacing, yung social distancing, hindi issue sa amin kasi maluwag yung area. Dito sa Dahilayan kasi is that there are several resorts there, all owned by the family, no?
Okay.
Yung aming mga siblings ko, meron din silang kanilang mga resort na tinayo. So napakaluwag ng area. I guess we're speaking of something like between 20 to 30 hectares na developed area na kahit na 2,000 customer papasok maluwag
Maluwag
pa rin.
pa rin.
Maluwag pa rin.
Actually,
No?
for me nga
So,
po yun ang isa sa mga
saka
pinaka-selling
yung
point. Hindi
because
kasi so
we're
congested.
lucky that we're endowed with a, very nice environment. Talagang napakaganda mag-walking, mag-hiking doon, and
Mm-mm.
mag-biking. May mga
Mm-mm.
trail. Talagang ma-enjoy mo talaga ang nature. And
Mhm.
yung environmental, awareness, andyan talaga sa lahat ng tao. We don't allow any smoking in our area because of the chance of a forest fire. We don't want that because it's gonna destroy our multi-million investments there. Kaya no smoking sa amin. So we have implemented these health and safety regulations. Even in our rides, we disinfect our rides regularly.
Mhm.
And well, in our rides, we allow people to remove their mask. Yon.
Okay.
So you can scream to your heart's delight as you go down the zip line. But then,
Pero
siyempre, we
syempre
ask you to
pagkababa
wear your
mo.
mask upon landing.
Yes, of course.
Uh,
Sige, maraming salamat
uh,
po, Engineer LP, for that. Sir Miguel, now I'd like to ask you, we're now down to the essence of our show. How can we practice mindfulness for you? Like, why is it important? Bakit nga ba importante na maging mindful and responsible traveler?
I think for me personally, that you're right. No, we have to be very mindful and we have to be very responsible because as travelers, there are a lot of things. When we go to a certain place, even if we're all Filipinos, but there are certain cultures with different traditions which we need to respect. So I think we have to be mindful of all these things. Now we have to practice how to like the common, the famous line that says, "When you're in Rome, you do what the Romans do." So we
Yeah.
apply that when we travel. We also make sure, especially now, no, that during the pandemic, we have to go through all this health security process and safety processes. That's why I cannot speak for Zamboanga City right now because I don't know. But I think what I can say is they have to just contact the Department of Tourism or the local office, and I'm sure they have this safety protocols laden for those who would like to be able to travel and see Zamboanga and the other islands, neighboring islands. Yeah. So going back to your question, I think it's important. I think for me, as a person who travels, essential yun eh. We need to know the basics first in order for us to be able to really appreciate and to really go through the real potential of our purpose of why we're doing it.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Sir Miguel. Para sa ating viewers, lagi natin itong tinatanong sa ating mga guests. At siguro kaya mahalaga na lagi natin itong tinatanong kasi they come from different fields, different expertise, different professions, but they all boil down to why is it important. And we are presented a various, set of answers. At nadadagdagan lang yung dahilan kung bakit siya mahalaga. How about you, Miss Eileen? Paano po natin mapapractice yung mindfulness kapag tayo ay nagta-travel?
Yeah, it's a good thing you ask actually kasi I really had the experience of traveling. I just came back from the US this October, itong last week of October.
Good, you are safe back home, Miss Eileen.
Actually, yeah, medyo na ako doon, na hold, stranded, for a while. But it was a different experience kasi nga you go through several airports, iba-iba ang treatment nila, no? In the US, hindi pa sila ganun ka-strict. Well, particularly because I came from Chicago. Well, Chicago is very strict about the mask protocols. But I went also to other states wherein talagang hindi nagmamask ang mga tao, no? So now you can just imagine why it's rising. And these are the states talaga na nakita ko rin na hindi talaga nagmask when we were there because they were so concerned about their freedom and all that. But no, coming back and then coming to the Philippines, pagdating mo, everybody is wearing masks, may mga shields pa nga, no? So it's a different experience. So you see how the culture also plays a part in accepting what is happening now, kasi nga iba ang ano ng western, no, but here sa atin sa Pilipinas, we have rules, we have guidelines, which I'm glad is also being followed. In Cagayan, we are now coming up with a QR code for contact tracing. So very soon, everybody will be carrying their QR codes para mas madali mag-enter into different establishments. So these are the things that we are also would want everybody to follow para naman for the safety of not yourself but also for the others and for your family. So importante na aware tayo what's happening and how we should be dealing with this.
Thank you, Ms. Irene. Engineer LP, why is it important to become a mindful and responsible traveler?
Well, para sa amin talagang, 10 commandments yan. Especially that, we don't want a single incident in our parks. As I said, in our parks, annually we hit over 100,000 people. No, that's a lot of people coming through our parks, and hindi pwede na kahit isang incident na marirelate nila na galing ito ng Daylayan o galing ng water park na kaso. No, that's something that we dread, and that's why even now as we speak, we really inform our guests through not only social media but also through yung physical signages and whatever in the parks. Nagkalat talaga yung signages, reminding people of social distancing, of not congregating in one area but dispersing yourselves among the rides. So far naman very cooperative ang mga pumupunta sa amin because they know the rules are going to be imposed. Because if you don't follow the rules, you'll be kicked out, literally. Gano'n naman Pilipino, di ba? Pupunta ka ng Amerika, ako dito sa Pilipinas, balasubas ka sa daan, you violate all traffic regulations. Pero pagdating mo ng Amerika or kahit Clark na lang or sa Subic ka pumunta, pag di ba, sumusunod ka sa mga paubaya, yung mga signages. So, yeah, it's a matter of really implementing, the protocols and making sure that people are safe because it's for everyone else, hindi lang para sa iyo. So, yun. Kailangan yung aming mga tourists talagang please make sure before you come to Cagayan de Oro na nakapag, you have assessed yourself to be COVID-free.
Oo nga naman. Kasi hindi lang para sa'yo, para talaga sa iba rin. Actually, hindi. Para sa iba at syempre para sa'yo. Kasi lagi natin inisip, baka para lang puro sa iba. Actually, para rin yun sa'yo. Sa'yo mismo na nanonood. Now, before I let you go, meron lang akong huling tanong. Sir Miguel, actually, pag pumunta pa lang sa restaurant nyo, parang nakapunta na ako ng Mindanao. And nabalitaan ko na your lola is a historian pala. Now, in connection to what you've learned from your lola, what could be your message to our viewers na parang nag-iisip na pumunta sa Mindanao na hindi pa nakakapunta ng Mindanao? So, what would be your message to them in relation to what you've learned from your lola?
Well, of course, first, this is probably going to be shameless, but I'm going to do it anyway. To our viewers, if you want to travel to the southern part of Mindanao, I suggest you visit the restaurant. It's just in Quezon City, in Tomas Morato. No? It's Palm Grill.
Yes.
It's authentic from southern Mindanao. Going back to your question and what I've learned from my grandmother is, you always have to study it first, or you have to learn something first if you plan to visit a place. It's vital and it's important that you get to connect. So that's why, as I've said earlier, what better way to do that if not through the cuisines of this region, of this area. So that's why hence we had the restaurants, because we wanted to introduce that. And when you come to the restaurants, we offer you the specialties. We are a Filipino restaurants by heart, but we are classified as a specialty Filipino restaurants because we specialize in certain areas. And like I've said earlier, we really wanted to champion this, and we wanted people to know that it's not just your typical or your usual adobo or kare-kare or your sinigang and bulalo, because there are other cuisines that are unexplored. The whole of Mindanao, as like what Ma'am Elena said earlier and what she has shared, no, yung food nila doon, similar. And we need to discover this, and we need to know that there's far more to Filipino cuisine than what we already know. And we need to establish that identity, not just as Mindanaoans, but as Filipinos. Not only in our country, but as much as possible worldwide. No? And, my grandmother, she was a historian. Yes, you're right. She was an educator turned politician and a historian. She's actually the person who founded the Sulu National Museum. And before she went on, she was able to donate this to the National Museum of the Philippines. So it's already part of that. And what I learned from her growing up is, you need to open your perspective, make it wider, and learn to be more accepting, and learn to accept the different cultures and history of the entirety of the Philippines. And when you get to do that, wherever part of the country you would want to go and visit, it's easier for you to connect. It's easier for you to understand them, because you open your heart and your mind to learning the things that they believe in, the history that they have, the stories and the culture that every individual has. And I think that's what I really remember about my grandmother, and which I still apply.
Very beautiful to end with that note. May I know the name of your Lola, Sir Miguel, for the benefit of all our viewers?
Yeah. My grandmother's name is Oswalda Alcantara Cabel.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sir Miguel, for that. Ang ganda, nakakataba ng puso. At siguro the best way para hindi ka maging turista sa sarili mong bayan ay kilalanin mo yung bayan mo. Kasi di ba minsan, pag sinabi natin Filipino cuisine, yung iba sa atin sasabihin lechon. Nothing wrong with that. Pero keep in mind, meron din tayong brothers and sisters na non-pork eaters, di ba? So nakakalimutan natin yun minsan. So ayun, be mindful lang. Awareness, it's the first step sa lahat ng bagay. So again, maraming salamat po sa inyo, Sir Miguel, Miss Eileen, Engineer LT. But before I let you go, meron po akong maliit na favor sa inyo. Dito po kasi sa GPS TV, meron po kaming tinatawag na GPS Move. So, ganito po yun. Kapag sinabi kong, here on GPS TV, we remind you to, gagawin niyo po yung hashtag sign. Madali lang po yan. Hashtag sign, hashtag go safe,
Go safe,
go travel,
go travel.
tapos go Philippines,
Go Philippines.
Go Philippines.
soar high.
Soar high.
Yon. Okay, isa pa. Kunwari, hindi po tayo nag-practice. Sa ating mga viewers sa Facebook and sa YouTube, coming from our southern online buddies, we remind you to hashtag
Go
go
safe.
safe, go travel,
Travel.
go Philippines,
Go Philippines.
soar high.
Soar high.
Yay! Thank you so much for being game. Maraming salamat po, Sir Miguel, Miss Eileen, and Engineer LT. Mabuhay po kayo at talagang, totoo talaga, ang dami kong natutunan. Sana kayo rin na nanonood sa Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much to everyone who joined in on the conversation, sa mga nag-comments. Maraming salamat. That was truly a value-adding experience for us here sa YouTube and sa Facebook. I became more proud, as a Filipino. I also have my Mindanaoan roots. Thank you so much sa ating mga guests. Thank you also to Hotel Sales and Marketing Association, the Department of Tourism, and of course, the Tourism Promotions Board for making this show possible. Sana baunin niyo yun, i-absorb niyo yun, at i-apply yung mga nalaman niyo tungkol sa safe and mindful traveling. Again, always plan your trips, diba? And consider the health situation of your family, your resources, and the location you're going to, di ba? Syempre, on top of strict medical protocols yan so that everyone can safely enjoy. Hindi pwedeng enjoy lang. Dapat safely enjoy, including the rest of the people around you. Talagang maipapakita natin ang bayanihan sa pamamagitan ng pagiging mapagmatsyag na manlalakbay. Huwag kang maging dayuhan sa sarili mong bayan. Always remember that. For everyone to enjoy a worry-free travel experience, we have to #go safe, go travel. Go safe first before you go travel. Until the next flight, this has been Aya Fernandez, your online travel buddy. Watch out for more episodes here, only here on GPS TV. Go Philippines, soar high. Mabuhay po sa ating lahat.